What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over several quick tips for Fortnite Chapter 7 Season 2 that you're going to want to know. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more. Comment down below which tip has helped you most this season, and if you guys would like to use my code in the shop when getting anything, it is EvolveJake, just like my channel name is, and it is underneath the webcam at all times. So the Rivalry system is a huge component of this season, and you're going to want to be doing as much of these rivalries as possible. I've seen some players say that it's something they just want to avoid because they want to play very sneaky or they don't want to get in fights. And that maybe makes sense to an extent, but as I've talked about several times on this channel, I think if you do want to consistently do well and get better, you want to be getting in more fights. And so the rivalries will help you do that. But the main reason why you're going to want to be doing these as much as possible is that by doing rivalries, you level up and unlock new abilities from the rivalry computer, where you're able to buy special exotic loot and upgrade weapons with the currency you get from doing rivalries. But you can also buy certain perks as well. So there's a perk that will give you unlimited sprint for the remainder of the game, which is going to be incredibly helpful. There's one that allows you to mark enemies when you shoot them, regardless of which weapon you're using. Once you deal white health damage, they'll be marked, and that is going to be very helpful for tracking weak opponents and signaling to your teammates which enemies are weak. And there will likely be more exotics and weapons and kind of benefits introduced as the season goes on. So a lot of these exotics are very good. The ability to upgrade weapons are good. The perks are good. So I really think just running as many rivalries as often as possible to kind of grind those levels in currency quick and unlock those abilities for yourself is really helpful. But this also gives you a target to go for. And as I've also talked about many times on the channel, if you are getting more kills throughout the course of the game, the rest of the match is going to be easier because you're eliminating your opponents and there's less players alive. So if you often find yourself with really populated endgames, it's likely because everybody is playing too passive, and if you start going for these rivalries, you'll be getting more people out of the game. In the end game, I also really like it for finding the final few players. This is something that's kind of, there's a give and take here, because when you get a rivalry on somebody, they're marked for you, but you're also marked for them. So if it's a 1v1 and you get a rivalry, you'll know where the final player is, and they'll kind of know where you are too. And you just kind of have to weigh your options on that. I'm someone who I value more knowing where the enemy is than I do being hidden to them. So I would pretty much always be going for that end game. But it's up to you and kind of how you view the game. I just think if you're good at fighting, knowing where the enemy is gives you a huge advantage. There's also several special ways or new ways that you can get loot. The first is going to be this mini vault at the lighthouse. There's a lighthouse near the new beach POI, and nearby the lighthouse or around the lighthouse, there will be a bluish green fishing spot. And if you use a fishing pole on this, you can actually get the key card, which you can then take to the top of the lighthouse and open up this little mini vault to get extra loot. It's not the greatest loot of all time, but early game, this can be something that helps you out to get you know, some decent loot going in the game. There's also a cone push mini game in the ice biome where you push these cones across and you try to make it to the target. So each time I did this, it took me 6 cones. I'm not sure if, you know, you can happen to get it earlier than that. Maybe somebody in the comments can comment. But I'm not sure if it's you just throw 6 cones and then eventually one of them will hit, or if you can actually get it earlier than 6. But the 3 times I did this, it always took me 6 cones, and you get some pretty decent loot from doing this. So if you are landing in a more kind of low-key spot in that area, this might be something that you want to take advantage of. There is also the shooting game at Wonkyland returning from last season. You're still able to complete that and get loot from doing that. So that's pretty good. The Chaos Shotgun is an interesting weapon where it hits really hard, but it only has a single shot and then you need to reload it. But it actually reloads when it's not even in your inventory. So this weapon is very good. It's probably going to be the meta shotgun, but I've seen people saying it sucks because they have to reload after every shot. But the kind of play here is you shoot it, you swap to a spray weapon, and then you hopefully finish the kill with that spray weapon. But if it's been long enough, maybe you swap to the Chaos Shotgun. It's supposed to reload on its own. There is apparently a bug going around where sometimes it doesn't reload on its own, and then you need to do it manually because, you know, Fortnite is Fortnite at the end of the day, and there's always like constant bugs. I've had a few times where I swapped to it and it wasn't loaded yet, but I don't know if that was because of the bug or me just happening to swap back to it a bit too early in the heat of the moment. This Chaos Shotgun also doesn't benefit very much from headshots. And so the ideal play here is to just go for body shots, I think, and just hit as many pellets as you can to get that guaranteed like good chunk of damage, and then swap to your spray to hopefully finish the kill, as I said. going for headshots will get you a little bit more damage, but you also run the risk of just hitting less pellets and then doing less damage in the long run. So this is more of a shotgun that you just go for bodies for, maximize how many pellets you hit, get your guaranteed damage, and then hopefully swap to your spray. In the lighthouse area, there are also these little coral sand castles, and if you go to the water in these sand castles, it will actually heal you for shield over time. And I assume it would heal white health as well, like how the slurp water did in Chapter 2. So if you're desperate for heals in that area, or just really greedy and want to save your heals, maybe that slurp water is something that you're going to want to take advantage of. There are these 0-point shards around the map, and if you go into it, it rifts you. So there's several, you can see them. They're in the ice biome, the beach area, the middle of the map, and the desert area as well. And if you jump into that shard, it will actually rift you and allow you to fly around and glide. So if you want to travel the map quickly, this can be something that's really helpful. Or if you know there's enemies in the nearby area that you want to push, you could do that. It also really helps with your rivalries, because you can get a rivalry, jump in one of these, then quickly hunt down that enemy player. Around the kind of 0-point shard in the desert, there is this purple water, and this purple water will actually give you dashes, similar to the green water in Chapter 5 or the water that we had in the Simpsons season as well, those dash fish. To do this, you just go in the water, and then you can activate the dash by hitting your jump button while you're in air, and then also the direction you want to go. So if you want to go forward, you just press forward and do the double jump. The side, you can go either side. You can also go backward. So these dashes are really helpful, and being able to take advantage of these is going to be an auto win in certain fights. The dashes were really powerful if you played in Chapter 5 or the Simpsons season with those dash fish. And so anytime you're in this area, I think you definitely want to be getting some dashes. Similar to the dash water, there are these orange towers at the dark domain POI, and if you go through one of these cube orange towers, you actually get the slap effect for a period of time, and this is going to be unlimited stamina for a period of time. So again, anytime you're in the middle of the map, you might as well go through one of these orange towers and get that unlimited sprint, because it's just going to make playing the game more convenient for you. One thing I've seen a lot of confusion on this season is going to be the door bash. So we've had door bashing for a while where you can just sprint through doors and bash through it. But now there's like a bash slamming of the door shut. It's very strange. A lot of players thought this was a bug, but I saw some developers talking about it on Twitter. And this is very much intentional. So if you sprint through a door, you can run through. But if a door is already open and then you sprint into the door, it will actually slam the door shut. And this makes some pretty awkward situations where you're trying to run into a room, but you just kind of bump the door while sprinting, and then it ends up slamming shut in your face. So if you are trying to sprint through a doorway like that, you want to be a little more mindful of your movement and make sure that you're not accidentally bumping that door at all. That way you don't slam the door in your own face and just make things weird and awkward. But this might be something that players end up trying to take advantage of, like intentionally, as we get more used to it, where you can, maybe slam the door shut on somebody, maybe like block their shot and then go through and fight them while their shotgun is on cooldown or something like that. I could see some interesting plays happening here, but I just wanted to point out that this is very much intentional and it's not a bug, because it feels very strange to me, and I actually thought it was a bug early on. It was kind of annoying. Self-res did actually get buffed this season. It's much faster in solos. I think it's like 2 seconds now in solos, which is like very quick, especially with how the mobility is currently this season. If you get shot while you were like using one of the grenades to get away, you might be able to revive before the enemy gets to you. And in team game modes, it seemed to be about 5 seconds now, which I think is still faster than it was last season, but not quite as fast as it is in solos. So for pretty much all of last season, I just didn't even bother picking up self-res because it was pretty pointless in solos. There's like very niche situations where maybe it would help you, but most of the time I just really didn't care, and just getting eliminated or getting knocked and then having to sit there and get eliminated as well was just pointless. So I didn't take self-res most of the time in solos last season, but I think this season it definitely has more potential with it getting buffed. There are several mythic weapons you're able to obtain this season. So the Nemesis AR can be obtained from the car jump in the desert area. This is where the Mythic Enforcer was last season. The Brutus twin hammer shotguns can be obtained from the weight lift at Ripped Tides. This is where you previously got the Mythic Iron Pump, but now it gives the Mythic dual hammers. The Chaos shotgun can be found from the Dark Voyager boss, and this one actually has 2 shots. So we talked earlier about the Chaos shotgun only having 1 shot. This one has more damage than the legendary and 2 shots. So the Mythic Chaos is going to be insane. The Combat AR is from the Squid boss, and this actually has a boosted fire rate as you fire it. These bosses have several potential locations they can spawn. The Mythic Thunderburst SMG is found by completing a race in Sandy Strip. There's these 2 cars on the road, and if a player is in each of those cars at the starting point, the screens at the end will start to count down, and then you will have a race, and then once that race is finished, loot can spawn, and one of the things you can get from that is the Mythic Thunderburst. It's kind of similar to the jump where it gets shot out of a cannon. Each of these mythics, though, is just a chance to happen. Even the bosses. You can kill Dark Voyager and get a gold shotgun rather than the mythic. You can kill the squid and get a gold combat AR rather than the mythic. And then obviously the car jump, the race, and the weight have a chance to just give you another high rarity weapon and not the mythic. So one change this season is that the bosses aren't guaranteed mythics anymore. The new DMR this season is incredibly good. And I actually thought it was projectile all the time after playing yesterday, but it seems like it's projectile past 100 meters, like how the Deadeye AR was, where it's hit scan up to 100 meters. And what this means is that if you're in 100 meters, you don't have to worry about bullet drop or bullet travel time. But if you're past 100 meters, you may have to worry about bullet drop or bullet travel time, depending on how things go. It doesn't seem like the DMR has any drop at all. It looks like it shoots perfectly straight, but you still may need to lead your shots if you have an opponent like sprinting that's really far away or using mobility that's really far away. But if they're within 100 meters, it's not something you have to worry about. I've been told the exotic mammoth pistol is the same way, where it's hit scan up to 100, and then past that, you maybe have to worry about bullet drop and bullet travel time, depending on how things are going, like how your angle is on the enemy, how their movement is, stuff like that. But most of the time, especially in close range, you could just play like their hit scan and it's going to be all good. And then the final thing I want to talk about is the new pistol is actually incredibly good. I think so far I've been preferring this as my spray weapon, and it has felt very, very good to me. And I've had a lot of people come to my stream and be like, why are you using that pistol? And then they come back later and they're like, okay, yeah, you were right. This pistol is insane. So don't sleep on the pistol, especially if you get a higher rarity version. One of the better weapons in the game. But that is going to be it for this video. As always, if you guys did find this to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.